Balboa Island has developed from a sleepy fishing village to one of Southern California's most sought-after vacation destinations. And perhaps no other family has seen more of that change and helped drive that transformation than the Smith family, who first arrived on the island in 1924.
Our parents were Hal and Mabel Smith, and Dad was a real estate broker who came down here and originally sold property or rented houses out of his parents' house, Will and Helen Smith, on South Bay Front, which is down here between Marine and Onyx. My grandparents on my father's side came to California in 1898 originally. Went up the coast in a buggy as far as Santa Barbara, and at that point I think they decided California was the place they wanted to settle.
As my grandfather used to say, that if Columbus had landed on the West Coast, there wouldn't be anybody on the East Coast. He was definitely in favor of the West.
This is the earliest photograph we know of the area, and it's shot from Balboa, about the ferry location. There really isn't anything to see because there wasn't anything there. The Collins Company eventually built a dredge and dredged up a lot of sand from the bottom, deposited it on the island, let it settle in, and that became buildable land that they could put a house on, or someone could put a house on.
Artists love Balboa Island's active and colourful shoreline. Probably no artist has so captured the beauty and intrigue of the island than the brothers' grandmother, Helen Smith, who started painting here in the 1930s.
Our grandmother, Helen Smith, did this artwork. She's a rather well-known Southern California watercolorist. She did quite a few shows, and she showed up and down the coast, a lot at Laguna, because of course that was kind of where the locals showed work. But she also had exhibits, had a one-woman show at Oakland Art Gallery, and I think she was a major contributor at the Sacramento Art Museum.
Helen took her inspiration from the island, the boats and the local fishing industry, which Hal Smith can still remember.
We used to have quite a colony of fishermen over here on the East Bay front. It was close to the entrance, and in those days land was cheap, and so they had their fishing boats. They'd actually pull them up on the beach to work on them, and had railroad tracks that they would have little cars that they could actually, like a boatyard, pull them up, and that lasted probably pretty much through the 30s.
The Smiths were more recreational seafarers, and the family introduced sailing canoes to the west coast.
The sailing canoes were what they called a double cat rig, meaning they have two sails are essentially equal sized. In order to keep the boat from capsizing, you had a seat that was on a track that moved back and forth across the boat, so that you used your weight as ballast, and if the wind was blowing 10 miles an hour, you pushed that seat out further than if it was only blowing 5 miles an hour.